Okay, so in my guide video on how to beat the hero arena on challenge mode difficulty by going second, there was one team that I wasn't able to use, and that is sort of a team that is centered around one of the seasonal heroes, and that being Freyja. Now, they did remove Freyja from the seasonal pool for whatever reason. I'm not gonna go into speculations on exactly why. I think we can all figure out exactly why. But through community backlash, they sort of pulled back a bit and decided to include her in the roster for the rest of the season. Now, the team in question that I'm about to show you today is this team, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do in order to beat the second tower on the hero arena, meaning the middle tower. The one where the first team you're up against is the Lillia, Infinity Merlin, Chad King, as well as Rimuru. So this is the team that you want. You do want to have Tyr. He is, of course, going to provide you with a lot of attack stats from his passive here, as well as like hit really hard with his weak point AoE card. Now, Freyja himself, I'm not sure if you actually do need his Holy Relic. I do have his Holy Relic, but the only Holy Relic that you actually need is Nanashi's Holy Relic. And this is sort of because, of course, Nanashi's Holy Relic just increases your basic stats by 30% for all your units, and that sort of helps you survive from some of the most hard-hitting teams in the game turn 1. Because you're going second, you do need to survive at least one turn, and then you can sort of start healing back at least with 3 of your units, and then sort of alternating who you're gonna heal back with. So getting that 30% basic stat increase is, of course, gonna help you, as well as like the defense-related stats that you're gonna get on top of the HP and crit resistance, crit defense that is gonna provide you. Now, the most important thing to consider here with this team is the gear that you put on them. So the gear I do have on Freyja is attack crit defense with crit defense sub rolls. If you saw my other video on this, like, you just need to reroll a bunch of R pieces as like the middle pieces, enhance them to max, and then just reroll them. They don't even need to be like perfectly rolled. Just getting that extra like 50-51% crit defense is enough. But for Tyr, you kind of do want him to survive because he is a little bit squishy, but it doesn't really need the crit damage, because what's 20% crit damage going to do for him when he already has such high crit damage? Now, the gear I have on the 2 other units is attack crit damage on Freyja, and I only have this because, you know, his cleave card does more damage depending on how much like crit damage he has. So the more crit damage you can stack on him, the more damage he is also going to do. But the middle pieces do have like crit resistance sub rolls, or crit defense sub rolls could potentially work as well. But this was just one of the gear pieces I made, and I was just juggling through them. But as you can see, I do have a crit defense one as well. This one can potentially quite easily be replaced there for both of these 2 pieces here, or just mix and match however you want. Freyja also, I do have attack crit defense. As you can see, I'm just running like regular SSR pieces. That's because for my Freyja, I did make the top and the middle pieces the attack pieces, and the bottom pieces the crit damage pieces. So it's always best to like do it consistently with all your units so that you can swap out gear for like anything. But as long as you have like the same sort of gear for all your units, it shouldn't really matter. But then, of course, they released this game mode where you kind of do need to do a little bit of finagling, because of course most of my units do have like different pieces on the top and bottom and the middle, and that's why it's so easy to just, you know, remove these pieces and give them to someone else who needs them as well. But Freyja also has attack crit damage with crit resistance sub rolls. Again, crit defense could work just as well. And Nanashi does have HP lifesteal. Now, you do want to have lifesteal pieces on him, potentially even like putting lifesteal here, though it might be a little bit overkill, because I do feel like the HP is, of course, going to help him out, perhaps even a little bit more than that. So he does need the HP because he's a little bit more squishy than the other units, so he will take a lot more damage. So if you just slap HP lifesteal with like crit defense sub rolls in the middle pieces, that should be just as fine. So that is the gear I have on them, and the card set I do have is the Unknown Race card set, which increases their HP related stats by 5% and increases damage taken by 10%. This is, of course, going to help Nanashi survive. HP related stats is also going to increase not just his HP but also his lifesteal, so that with his weak attacks he's still going to be able to lifesteal quite a lot. And you will need to lifesteal with him because you don't have any units that can heal, so all your units need to be topped up before you move on to the next phase, or as close to topped up as possible. But yeah, we'll just get into the run. I do have it on 2x speed, so yeah, as you can see, I'm using that team on the middle tower, the second tower. The first team we're facing off against is this team right here. Now, they will sort of infect you turn 1. That is sort of why you kind of want to kill Rimuru, potentially also Merlin. Merlin is really annoying. Here I got like my units would be stunned and Freyja would take 50% of her max HP as damage, so I did want to kill Merlin. Sometimes you don't kill her in one hit. As you can see here, I didn't crit her there, and I didn't crit her with the first 2 attacks there from Tyr, but luckily the other attacks crit and she was able to be killed. But you can always like pause the thing or just close out of the client and restart it, so if you do mess up you can restart it. But then after that you just want to like break the shield from King and just try to heal back as much as possible with Nanashi and the rest of your units before you move on to the next phase. Turn 1, your priority is gonna be the Merlin, and after that Rimuru. Potentially kill both of them on the same turn, and then after that you can just kill King, and then after that Lillia would be the one I would go for, because she doesn't really deal too much damage to you, and you can sort of use her as a beating stick for your Nanashi if you do have Nanashi cards. Unfortunately I didn't, so I just one-shot her with my Freyja. Now we do have the Archangels Archangels, and the Archangels are a little bit annoying, but luckily for us, the Archangels on the second floor aren't that bad. Now, the target that you want to focus down first is going to be Ludemargret, but if you can kill Ludemargret and Tarmiel on the same turn, that is sort of what I would go for. As you can see, my tier wasn't topped up, so luckily for me, Tarmiel actually taunted here. He can either taunt or Meli will do another single target attack on the unit that has the lowest HP, which in this case would have been tier. So he would have taken way too much damage potentially. So I was a little bit lucky there, but as you can see, I killed his Tarmiel, I killed his Ludemargret there as well. And after that, it's pretty easy. Like, yeah, of course, Mel can still potentially wreck you. If they get like super lucky mergers, they can still wreck you with an ultimate if you don't kill them. But here, I just wanted to heal back as much as possible with Nanashi before I sort of kill any one of the units, because I did want to use the AoE cards to heal myself by attacking like 2 units rather than just 1 unit. Though, unfortunately, he did attack me there, so I did have to like kill him now, because of course, Liz isn't going to do too much damage to my units, and I can sort of attack her again to sort of heal a little bit and then move on with potentially full HP with all my units. That is sort of what you want to do there. So I just ult with Nanashi here, and yeah, she's dead. Now the next team is the demon team here with a Meli, and here it's a little bit annoying, especially for Nanashi, because you are up against 3 units that are type advantage against him. So they will always target him. He will take a lot more damage from them. So you kind of want to kill those 3 units first and then like leave Zeldris alive. Potentially you can leave Meli alive, though I did fear that Meli's AoE card would deal too much damage to my Nanashi, so I killed him first and then sort of gonna focus down the Melascula and Chandler. Potentially leave Zeldris alive to sort of heal back with your unit as much as possible. As you can see, Zeldris doesn't really focus Nanashi. They always focus like type advantage or the unit that has like lowest HP. So type advantage and lowest HP, that is gonna be Nanashi. So you kind of do have to sort of kill the units as quickly as possible. So we're going off the Melascula there, we kill her, and I'm pretty much topped up here, so all I really need to do is just attack a little bit with Nanashi perhaps, or Freyja, you know, it doesn't really matter. I think I just straight up kill here. But yeah, you just want to have your units be topped up as much as possible, especially against the Ragnarok team, because the Ragnarok team is gonna use the AoE card with Freyja as well as the AoE card with Brunhild, and those 2 cards hit for super hard. You will also use the single target card from Sigurd there as well, but it's not really gonna be too much of an issue. So basically you just want to AoE and then you want to kill Freyja and Brunhild. And the way I opted to do that was with, of course, my 2 Freyja attacks, because they hit super hard, and it's gonna basically allow me to at least hit for half the enemy's HP with like 1 attack. And then after that, you just want to heal back as much as possible. I'm not sure if this was the run I got super unlucky and like Diane got her ult or whatever when I killed Sigurd, or if it was like the turn after that or something. But the way you want to kill her, because you do not have an infect and she does have Tarmiel link on, the way you want to kill her is by either getting Freyja's ultimate, because it is a Abyss type ultimate, or you want to get Freyja his ultimate, because his ultimate hits twice, or potentially both if you don't have them like highly duped out. That is the way you're gonna kill her, because as you can see, she basically heals back everything you deal in damage to her, and you can only deal like 50% of her HP in one go. Unfortunately for me, she got her ult, but the way you can do this is you can just basically use her as a beating stick to like heal back as much as possible. Unfortunately for me, I didn't have too many like Nanashi cards or whatever. She is gonna focus Nanashi, I think, because he is a blue unit and she is a green unit, so that is sort of where her focus is gonna be. And I only had like 1 Nanashi card here, so I did have to ult anyway, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna ult and then move on to the next phase, because it's gonna be the last phase. If I do fail it, I can still use another team to sort of clear it, because I already had cleared like the other 2 floors with some different teams. I think the Archangel team, at least I cleared with that one, and then the Demon team would have basically been a guaranteed win anyway. So, and here is the final team. Now, they will always get a bubble up. The way I sort of like to go about this is just to kill Echidna. She's really annoying with these debuffs cards, and she always likes to debuff because Philo does have a weak point card. So if the enemies have a weak point card, the NPCs usually go for the debuffs first, unless they have like a debuff from their passives or whatever, which unfortunately they don't. So they will always like debuff you with the infect though. So that is very annoying. But the way you can just basically kill her, because she's a green unit, you had to have 2 red units who hit really hard, and just go for like whatever 2 units you want. At this point, it's even if they had killed my tier, even if they had killed my Nanashi, I don't think the enemies would have, you know, been able to survive the barrage of attacks that I would have inflicted upon them. As you can see, hits super hard, and that's GG. That's the entire second tower, and yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, that was the second run I did, but I did have the demon team as well, so yeah. But with that, I think that's gonna be it. If you need help with any other teams, I do have another video up on going second on the highest difficulty. I haven't tried it out on like the lower difficulties because I just didn't think about it, but then I got some comments and I might actually look into this next week about like what teams you can build for going second on just the one level lower difficulty, because that one specifically is also kind of annoying because there are 3 teams where Diane has the Tarmil Grace on. On challenge mode difficulty, the team that has Tarmil Grace is gonna be the first team on the first tower, which is the demon team, and it is Esterosa who has it, so it's not really a problem there that you really need to think about. So you can use the Archangel team there, but you cannot really use the Archangel team here in the champion difficulty. But potentially you can use the Sins team, you can use the Ragnarok team, and you can use the demon team if you do have those units, and you should be able to like clear it by going second on champion difficulty as well. So if that is what you want to do, if you don't have like super high box CC, then that is potentially what you can do. But yeah, I think with that, that's gonna be it for me. Hope you liked the video, hope you found it helpful. Thanks for watching, hope you have a most wonderful rest of your day, and I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.